Hey viewers, 2Fortis here, and in this video I'm going to talk about the new card game that I'm kind of excited about and just kind of getting into. And this card game has been around for a while. It's called Flesh and Blood, a trading card game or customizable card game. And in this game, basically one of the reasons why I switched to this game compared to some of the other trading card games like the ones that I've featured on this channel is the packs here are made of paper. So in the last 4 or 5 sets, the packs here are paper packs. I do know, I think in the last set there were at least 2 distributors, maybe more, but one of the distributors, the distributor from Belgium, made these paper packs, and the distributor for the Japan region is still using the normal foil packs like any other card game. And so I want to say they said it was about 80% paper packs and 20% foil packs. So eventually, hopefully, I would like to see them have all paper packs. But that is one of the reasons why I am really interested in this game. What I went to is a From Dusk Till Dawn pre-release, and this is the packs here from Dusk Till Dawn. And Dusk Till Dawn is the 10th set that is coming out for Flesh and Blood, the card game. And for the pre-release pack, or the pre-release event, was a one of their previous sets, which is called Monarch, and so there was a Monarch booster draft for this set. And the reason they had that was because basically in the game you take control of a hero or a character, and you are going to be attacking with your hero with some weapons. And depending on what kind of hero you have, that will tell you what kind of cards you can put in your deck. So that's your deck constructing restrictions. And so you're going to be attacking your opponent and reducing their opponent's character's life down to 0, and at which point you would win. And one of the things, I believe this game is really fun. The art is really good, but I do want to say, compared to some of the art on some of the other games that I've featured here on this channel, the art can be a little bit darker. And so if you are worried about that, you might want to not continue watching any of my Flesh and Blood videos. But if you are probably over 10, over 12, you're probably going to be okay with this art. Not all art is dark, depending on what type of character you have. It's kind of a fantasy setting, and so it's their whole new kind of their own setting, created by Legendary Stories Studios. And James White is the kind of the creator of this game. He's kind of created this fantasy world. And so maybe if you're a warrior, you might see card art of heroes marching down in a fantasy type of castles or things like that. But there are also darker characters like assassins, or in this Monarch set, there's brutes, or shadow rune blades, and those characters might have some graphically depicting darker art. So if you're worried about that, you might want to not watch this video. But if you are okay with the art and just want to take a look at a really cool card game, continue watching. So in this video, I'm just going to talk about my experience going to this pre-release event of From Dusk Till Dawn and doing this Monarch booster draft. And I'll talk about some of the promos. I got these 2 packs here, and I just might open them here at the end of the stream. So First of all, to kind of give you an intro of Flesh and Blood. I know some of you probably already know how to play, but in this video I'm going to just go ahead and quickly talk about some of the heroes that you could be in the Monarch set. So there are 4 heroes that you can be. 2 of them are Shadow and 2 of them are Light. And in the draft you don't have to draft any of these heroes, but let's go ahead and take a look at some of these heroes. So the first hero we have is Chain, and Chain is a Shadow Rune Blade. And Chain, what Chain's strategy is he wants to once per turn action he can create these soul shackle tokens, which basically lets you draw more cards, to play more cards, but also milling your own deck or getting rid of cards from your deck and putting them into this zone called the Banished Zone. And when your deck runs out, then basically you get fatigued and you lose the game. So Chain is kind of he wants to be able to play certain cards that he can play from his Banished Zone, and then win the game and deal more damage. So he's kind of a slow turn kind of build up character, by putting stuff into the Banished Zone and then dealing damage. So you could be Chain. Another character, which is the other Shadow character that you can be, Shadow Levia or Levia. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that. I think I've heard a few people say Levia, but I think Levia sounds so much cooler. This is Levia, and she is a Shadow Brute hero, and so she wants to have attacks with 6 or more. And so 6 or more is kind of a big attack. Most characters in this format here, you play as the young hero at a lot of them I think have about 20-ish health or so. And so attacking for 6 is quite a lot. And so you want to get a whole lot of 6 attacks in your deck. And same with Shadow, you want to get things in your Banished Zone, and then she can play things from the Banished Zone. So that is Levia. Then we have 2 Light heroes. So the first hero we have, let's turn off the light, sorry about that. The first hero we have is Bolton, who's a Light Warrior hero. And what Bolton is able to do is he can put things into his soul, which is putting cards under his card, so they go into his soul. And then attacks. Normally you can do one thing per turn, unless it has something called Go Again, which lets you do something else on your turn. So Bolton can put things into his soul, put them under his character, and then remove them from his soul to give things Go Again. So Bolton wants to play cards that allow him to put it into his soul and then use those cards to make a big long turn of Go Again attacks. And the final hero we have is Prism. And Prism, let's see here. Prism is a character that same thing. She's a Light Illusionist hero, and Prism also puts things into her soul, but Prism works a little bit different. So from if you have something in your soul, then you can pay 2 resources to create this shield token. And with this shield token, she's the only one that's a little bit strange. She has this weapon here. They all have weapons, but this weapon specifically doesn't actually deal any damage. What this weapon does is then you can spend 3 resources to give these shield tokens, make them so they can attack for 4 damage. All of them have other weapons that usually you spend resources to be able to then attack with your weapon, but this weapon doesn't have any attack value. So you can be any one of these heroes in this kind of draft format. And something was going on outside there, and so so in the draft you can choose who you want to be. If you're making your own deck, classic constructed, Prism here, there's an adult version. This is the young version of Prism. Prism has Living Legend out, so basically she has won so much that you can no longer play her in regular classic constructed, and that's the same with Chain as well. Chain has Living Legend out in classic constructed, but in this draft format you can play any one of these 4 heroes. So being a new person to the game, draft is always a little bit challenging because there's 4 different heroes that you can play here, and some of the cards are specialized just for characters. Some of them are specialized just for light characters. Some of them are specialized just for shadow characters, and some of them are generic, and so anyone can use those cards. So you have to create a deck that's functional, a 30 card deck, and from learning from other videos, what I've learned, it sounds like by pack at least 6 through 7 you want to be choosing your hero. You can kind of go with the choose a hero card pack depending on what you open, and hopefully you can stick with that hero so you can have all your cards as one hero, or you can just draft generics. That's another strategy, and then see what signals other people are passing to you. So aside from some small articles and YouTube videos I've watched, I didn't know, I barely even know how to play the game, so I wasn't sure who I was going to be. But I have played quite a few cards, and so I believe that the first card that I drafted was this card here, Invigorating Light. Invigorating Light is a rare card, but just because they're rare doesn't necessarily mean that you want to draft those higher value cards. One of the things that drew me to this card specifically was a light action. So I'm kind of and this is the first pick of pack 1. You have 3 more packs, so I had a ton of time to change. But one of the things that drew me to this card is with light action, if I went with 2 of the heroes, then this card is potentially playable. And the problem is it's a yellow, but kind of a fairly good, kind of not necessarily generic attack action, but a light action card. So that's the first pick that I picked. Then in pack 2, I believe I went with this card here, which is the yellow or red Minnowism. Red here will tell you how much resources it can you can discard it for. Same with up here, and I went with this red minnowism because it was generic action, so this card can still go into any deck. Eventually, I don't remember what cards I drafted next, honestly, but eventually I ended up on Prism. So Prism was the character that I chose to be. And what was interesting was that our draft was a little bit different. We only had 6 people in our draft because the other groups were filled up, and so we had 6 people in our draft. And what was interesting, I'm not sure how the ratios change on that, but the person to my right, so what was interesting was that I thought Prism looked pretty open from pack 5, 6, 7. So I went to Prism, but yeah, the person on my right who was passing me cards was also on Prism. So I guess I definitely must have read that wrong, or there were just a bunch of good Prism cards. The person on the left of me was Chain, I believe, so that was good. And in our 6-person table, there's one Levia, one Levia, 2 Prisms, 1 Bolton, and 2 Chains. So that's not actually too bad of draft. It's just strange that the person to the right of me was taking probably the best Prism cards in 2 packs. I don't remember if I passed some good Prism cards later on. So I did end up getting a bunch of what they call heralds. Heralds are kind of Prism specific cards, and so here we have Herald of Protection, yellow, 2 of them. Herald of Ravages, yellow, and there are 2 of those. Herald of Tenacity, 1 of those, yellow. Wartune Herald, yellow, 1 of those, and Herald of Judgment, yellow. And I think that one is the rainbow foil. But yeah, so I got a bunch of cards. I think that I didn't draw. Minnowism is good, but I think I should have drafted more red attacks. So that was kind of interesting. Eventually, I did go 0-3. That's to be expected. I do want to say that all 3 of my games were really close. The first game I played a Bolton, and literally I think I was ahead 12 life to 6 life, and he came back. Then I played a Chain, and Chain, one of the strategies people say for Chain in this specific format of draft is you can just block, and Chain will just use his ability. Let's see. Chain will use his ability to create a Soul Shackle token, and then basically get rid of all of his cards, and then so you just have to block his attacks, and then he goes into not having any cards. I can't think of the name of that now, but then you lose the game. So I probably should have blocked a little bit more. I was trying to just attack and see what that was like. Towards halfway through the game, though, I just saw that he had Soul Shackle 3 or 4, and so he was just going to mill himself out. So I just started blocking, and in the last turn, I was able to play the Herald of Judgment. Last of my turn, I was able to play the Herald of Judgment. So he had to block. He used 2 cards to block with. I think I was at 6 life, and he was just barely able to deal 7 damage to me. I forgot you also have, so here's my hero. Prism that I was playing with. Then I have my weapon, the Iris of Reality. You can always also start the game with equipment, and then so you have an arm slot, a chest slot, a leg slot, and a head slot. And you can draft these cards, and if you were able to draft them and play them, you can play them. So I drafted these Dreamweavers, which gives me Spell Void 1, so I can block arcane damage, which chain deals a lot of arcane damage. And then this Halo of Illusion, which was really good. I should have used this on my third game, but I totally forgot about it. And it also has Spell Void 2. So I think I Spell Voided 3 on that last turn, and I still lost by 1. It was so close. Otherwise I would have won that game. And the last game I played was against a Levia, and that was when I basically, the other thing that I learned, which is kind of interesting, what's good about this Halo of Illumination, I can pay 1 and let's see. Oh no, that's not the card. Let's see. It's Dreamweavers. So this is the card that I forgot to play. I should have. You can spend an action, and things don't get Phantasm and lose Phantasm. And so Phantasm is kind of here's a red Spears of, well, let's just go with the big one here. So here we have Enigma Chimera, which is a red 8 attack with Phantasm. You can, all the cards here on the bottom have a block value here on the bottom right here, and so this can block. If I play this card, I can use it to block for 3. But if it has Phantasm, if they have an attack card with 6 or higher, then that will just basically destroy this card, and that can't even go again. And then so Phantasm basically deals a lot of big damage, but if they have these 6 attacks, then they can kind of get out of it. And then so I should have used the Dreamweavers here on one of the turns that I had Phantasm, and I would have had a big huge attack. But then he just played his 6 attack and was able to stop me. So overall, I had a really good time in playing this set, and I got some promos here. I'm gonna show you what I got here. So for playing the game on pre-release weekend, you get some packs if you win, and you also could get some of these heralds just as a, oh, I was there and supporting the game. So Herald of Ravages, this one is the blue version, and I also got a Herald of Ravages. Let's just move all this stuff out of the way. Herald of Ravages, and this is the yellow version, and when this is put into your hero's soul in hero's soul and deal 1 arcane damage to target hero, Phantasm. So when this hits, put it into your soul so you can attack with it. It hits, it goes into your soul, and then you can deal 6 damage. So this is the promo for the Dusk Till Dawn set that's going to be coming out. And I did tell you that Prism in the Monarch set has Living Legend out, so you can't play Prism on the competitive level anymore. If you want to play kitchen top table, sure. But what they're doing in this new set is they're reprinting Prism, and some of the cards are going to be foiled or gold foiled. They're going to look a little bit better, and if you went 3-0, then you get the gold foil Prism. But I didn't win, but they did a random auction, and I was actually won. And I was able to get the young foil version of Vincent. And this is the promo Vincent. And Vincent, because Chain Living Legend out as well, there are no other Shadow Runeblades. So all those cards for Shadow Runeblade are kind of, you can't really play with those. But here they've made a new card here for Vincent, who is no longer chained. So Vincent has a different ability, but I was able to get that Vincent. So this is going a little bit long here, but this is my first Flesh and Blood video. So we're going to go ahead and open up these 2 packs of Flesh and Blood. So let's go ahead and take a look to see what we've got. This is from the new set 10, Dusk Till Dawn, and here we are. Here we got Celestial Reprimand. It's a blue for Light Illusionist. So blue means I can use it for 3 resources. And let me just show you actually. So you see that? This is paper. So this kind of has a design on here, which maybe this design is coated, but it is paper, so recyclable in my mind. And that is why I am switching to Flesh and Blood. But let's continue on. Here, the first few cards are going to be commons. This is a Blistering Assault Yellow. Cost of 2, deals 4 attack, blocks for 2, and has some text there. Then we've got Light the Way Blue. Cost of 0, attacks for 1, 3 defense, common. Beseech the Demigon Blue. Cost of 0, no attack, 2 defense, shadow action. Then we've got Phantom Wraith, cost of 2, it's a red, 6 attack, 3 defense for the Shadow Runeblade attack. Then we've got Shaden Swing, red, cost of 1, 7 attack, it's a common, it's for the Shadow Brute, so for Levia, and 3 defense. So Levia wants to have 6 attack, and this one is a 7. Then we've got a Rune Chant. It's a common, and it's a kind of a token. So then in some of the packs here you get what they call the Rainbow Foil. So this is the Rainbow Foil, and this is a blue Grim Feast, cost of 3, no attack, 2 defense, shadow action. So it can go in any shadow deck, and it's the Rainbow Foil. So that's cool. You always get 1 Rainbow Foil in each pack, or you should. Then we have that over there. Yellow Shaden Scream, cost of 0. Shadow Brute action, 3 defense. It's a rare. So cool. And the usually you get 2 rares per pack. Sometimes you get the next up, which is a majestic, and then there's higher up rares than that. So this is Vile Inquisition Blue, cost of 2, no attack, 3 defense, another shadow action. So yeah, usually I believe you get 2 rares, the rainbow foil, and then 7 commons. So it's a 10 card pack, and let's go ahead and open up this next pack here. Love that paper packaging. And here we are opening up some Dusk Till Dawn for Flesh and Blood. This here we have Celestial Reprimand. It's a red, cost of 0, and has no block or attack, so have some card text there. And it's for the Light Illusionist. So that's going to be for the new Prism in CC. Then we have Break of Dawn. It's a yellow, cost of 0. It's a light instant. Again, no text there. Interesting. Then we've got a red Glaring Impact, cost of 1, 4 attack, 3 defense, and some text there. That's the common for the Light Warrior. Battlefield Breaker Red, cost of 3, 7 attack, 3 defense, common. I believe this is one of the pretty good Leviathan cards. Battlefield Breaker, cost of 3. If you banish a card with 6 or more from this 6 or more this turn, this gets plus 1 attack. So that can go up to 7 if you banished a cost of 6 or more, and that's very interesting. The art is also very grotesque. Kind of like I feel like these shadow brutes or any shadow cards are kind of like a Arkham Horror-ish kind of card. Yeah. Here we got red Beseech the Demagon, cost of 0, shadow action, 2 defense. Then we've got Rift Skitters, yellow Rift Skitters, cost of 3, 3 attack, 3 defense. Has Go Again, Rune Gate, which is Chain's ability, and Blood Debt, which basically kills yourself. Deals damage to yourself. Then we've got the Shaden Swing Yellow, cost of 1, 6 attack, 3 defense, Shadow Brute, because it's a 6 attack. Yeah. Ooh, here's something really cool. Shaden Death Hydro, yellow, cost of 6, 13 damage, 3 block, Shadow Brute action. It's a majestic foil, so that is really cool. Majestic foil with 13 damage, cost of 6. So you have to pitch or discard, pitch 2 blues to pay for this, and then cost of, and then attacks for 13. So you have this card plus your 2 blues is going to be 6 is 3 cards if you play it that way, or 3 cards, I'm sorry, and normally Leviathan specifically has a 4 card hand. So but that's really cool. Majestic foil. Then we've got a Envelop in Darkness yellow, cost of 1, rare, 2 block, for Shadow Runeblade. And the other rare, Herald of Protection yellow, 2 cost, 6 attack, 3 defense, Light Illusionist, rare. So for sure, out of those 2 packs, you don't normally, I believe, get a whole lot of Majestics. Or you do, I want to say there's six to eight Majestics per box. Also, this one is the foil version. Unless they're all foil version, I'm not really sure. It's definitely foiled, and it's definitely a Majestic. So, are all Majestics foiled? I don't know. There are a few other categories above Majestic. I believe there are Legendary, and then one more above that. It starts with an M, I think. Mystics? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so that's what I pulled. And so far I'm really liking the game. The art is, you know, a lot of times people say when you start this game, you're going to choose a hero, so choose a play style. And for sure I'm probably going to choose just a few heroes to play to get better at those specific heroes. But I'm not sure who those heroes are going to be. But yeah, that was my experience in the pre-release for Dusk. I don't think it's for Dusk Till Dawn. Dusk Till Dawn, the card game. Dusk Till Dawn, the 10th set of Flesh and Blood.